what things are gonna kind of outline or the format will be. Now, it is very important for you to understand this. You need a laptop, you need a desktop if you're going to participate in the live call in. All right. So not only can you just be in the YouTube chat, but in the YouTube live chat, there's a link. If you click that link, it will bring you into studio. When you come into studio, as long as you have a laptop or a desktop, I know because Will and I checked this out for you all, various different ways that it could probably work. You will be able to be live studio and do a call in where you get to come on screen, which is what you should be doing at F1 Minute. Ask your question, maybe pose a debate, maybe ask me a question, all relevant to topics within Formula One and so on. Don't ask me any real personal questions out there like that. That's for the Wolves, then. Those are for my members in the Discord chat, not for you all. All right. So, with that also being said, yes, with a cell phone or a tablet, you also can be in studio, but you will not have the luxury of doing the live call-in, which is really what I want you to take advantage of, okay? So we got a lot of things to get into. So how we do it here, we're going to get into some soft topics. Now, things were quite interesting this weekend. Things were quite interesting for a certain team this weekend. Things were even quite interesting for drivers this weekend at Mercedes. It was something that gave or will give people a bit of confidence to what is to probably come in the future, what may happen towards the end of the season, and in the end of the season, what may even take place next season as Mercedes gets more of a grasp and an understanding for what this car is going to do, for what the drivers feel about the car, and even more developments as they come forward. So Mercedes right now and Mercedes fans seem to be on quite a high. And a lot of people are saying that if Lewis Hamilton is indeed happy, things could get scary for some people. Things could get scary for some people coming up here. All right. So, bam, damn. And you know we got to kick this off. Well, before I even get into soft topics, we're going to have a word from Will at WPPN right about now. What's going on, my brother? Get that sound popping for us so we can hear that luxurious quality trivia winner voice.
Sounds good.
Good to go,
right,
brother. Go ahead. Let us know what we got going on this week.
Thanks, Shane. Our top story, shooters on deck. At approximately 2200 British summertime, 2100 Zulu, Mary Maggs Binney and Sylvia Witt Kelly launched a preemptive strike on the PR63 headquarters in Kingsland, Norfolk, before the PR defense machine could even get up and running after Saturday's qualifying session in Catalonia. Sources tell us Mag engaged first with the forward assault, while Wick flanked the sides with swift, cavalry-like pew-pews. In a press conference after the successful salvo of shots, Miss Kelly was quoted as saying, and I quote, "George got knocked out," while Miss Binney reminded everyone to research the Russell and Aiken encounters in GP3 and F2. Whew. Things are getting spicy, like having some curry at Sheba in London, in it? Time to pay some bills. Our sponsor tonight, Carmen's Catalonian Croquetas, created in a cochina on a calle in Catalunya. Si tienes hambre, compra Carmen's Catalonian Croquetas. What? But they know it means to buy croquettes when they're hungry. They know what it means. Trying to create a global audience here.
I like
Back
it.
to you, Jay.
I like it. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's my bro, Will, WPPN, bringing to you news all the time and bringing to you some of the closing statements we'll see. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have some news about that. So listen, everybody, it is time to call in. It is time to start in with the soft topics. And I just got something to say. How many of you out there in the world like to be nut checked? Nut checking can't feel good. I don't like my nuts cleaned. I don't like them banged. You know what I'm saying? And evidently Lando and Charles got some type of game here playing a nut check game. I seen it all the time in the military. I seen them, and it gets painful. But Charles is already getting nut checked by his own team, Ferrari. He's getting banged up. Charles is not happy right now, and we're about to get into that. Charles is not happy. Things didn't go so well, and I keep trying to tell you all. I told you this. I said that Mercedes was not the only team on the grid having troubles while everybody was focused on Mercedes. Ferrari is in a similar or worse situation. Why? Because I don't think their drivers are going to be as loyal to them as Lewis Hamilton may be loyal to Toto and Mercedes. That is why. And this is what I'm telling you. things don't look so good right there. All right. Also, did anybody see that move that Ocon put on damn Alonso? Alonso was like, he was in some different type of form. He was not in regular form out there. Listen, Aston Martin. Let's just get into this. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's just stop playing around with it. Aston Martin look horrible. They look bad. I mean, did you hear some of the conversations that the commentators were having? They were having the conversations that we typically have about Lance Stroll. Like, is this something that he should be doing? Like, does he maybe want to find another job? Does his dad need to? I mean, he's got a like an inheritance seat. He's got a son dad seat. He's got a seat that is indefinite. Should it be? Should there not be an expiration date on Lance's seat? I think there should be. I damn well think there should be. I think there needs to be some type of pressure on Lance, because Lance is just like too free willy. Nothing wrong with being happy. I like people being happy. But I think right now Lance doesn't feel any pressure to really improve himself because he's not afraid of losing his seat. He's not afraid of leaving that team and forget leaving, being pushed out of that team and then being in a position where he has to find another seat to remain in Formula One. He doesn't have that pressure. And I think not having that pressure is not good for not only Aston Martin, but it's not good for Lance. Because right now, even Alonso at the race, let's just keep it real. Alonso, since when? I mean, I understand like the difference, the double standard that Alonso has with Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. We all understand where that all birthed from, not agreeing with it, not saying it's right, not even excusing it. It's to say that we understand the beef that lie there from the days of McLaren, from, Alonso and Max, and just they have similar personalities, even equal championships at this point in time until Max gets his third. But what I really am like struggling to understand, why is Alonso being so lovingly nice to Lance? Lovingly nice to Lance. Yeah. That's what I want to say. Because this is odd. A lot of you feel like Alonso's doing this because he's really trying to make sure that he secures this Aston Martin bag for the following seasons coming up. That very well could be true. If that is true, does Alonso feel that either one, there's no other where or no other place for him to exist on the grid, or two, is he saying or maybe giving off that this is his last stop? Like, if this doesn't work or he doesn't get what he wants out of here, he's gone. And I don't know how much I would believe that, even if he were to say it, with the opportunities that are coming up in Formula One in the next few years. Teams coming to the grid, contracts being up. I think some of these drivers we see might not be around. I think Logan Sargent is working on not being around as much as he's channeling his inner Latifi. He's working on, it's his first season, so we're going to give him another one. But it's not as bad as Nick DeVries's, but it's almost comparable. Right now, the only rookie that's looking somewhat worth the hoopla of everything that may have happened, or at least can excuse what took place between the CRB board and Alpine and McLaren, is Oscar Piastri. All right. The other rookies are looking shaky, baby. They looking really shaky out here in these streets. I'm telling you this right now. If Logan Sargent shows up to Abu Dhabi and he wrecks in similar fashion, I'm done. I'm not even giving Logan next season. I'm writing him off. Whether he be the latest, most American driver on the grid or not, I'm writing him off, because that's gonna get a little scary for me. Nick DeVries, I need that brother to go get some help. But Alonso is now talking about flowers and going to Max's garden, and he's telling Lance Stroll, he's over the radio, like telling them, don't tell Lance, no pressure. I will finish behind him. Just let him go on. Just run the race, Lance. Don't worry about it. I don't want to finish any higher than you. I'm not trying to. So it either was that bad in Aston Martin where Alonso was like, even if I get past Lance, I'm not going anywhere else, but still crazy. Because Alonso is somebody that we know for a fact is going to be like, I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm trying to get as high up on the grid as I possibly can, regardless of who's in front of me. Regardless. Mary Beanie over in the YouTube chat says, I'm ready to go to Brackley to Pew Pew Nico Part 2. Yes, and we will talk. Matter of fact, bring that up again when we get to the Mercedes segment because Nico, I already went off on you one time, bro, but I got a little something more. I'm gonna just double up on it because Nico is not that hero. I know a lot of people like to, try to throw Nico up about. We'll get into it, but anyway, I don't know. Aston took a step back, and even with Aston taking a step back this race, I don't condemn them going into Canada nor Austria. But I do, and I will consistently say this, and even my brother Bryson has said it, there is no end to what a bad driver can do to a team. Lance is not proving to be a catalyst for good outcomes for Aston Martin. He's not running close aside from this race where Alonso literally took steps back to be around his teammate, which contributes to the constructor points. They're out on the number 2 spot in constructors. Mercedes is in. It's similar to like Top Gun. Iceman, take the shot. You don't have it, you're out, I'm in. That's just what happened. Okay. I don't know if that Honda power unit can come soon enough. I really don't. I think what you may see, it's going to be crazy to see. What if we see Alonso just totally mentally give up mid-season? I mean, we still got a lot of season left, like roughly 60 to 70% of the season left. But what if you see Alonso mentally just kind of bow out, just kind of take a nonchalant attitude towards being heavily competitive? What if you see that? What does that tell you? You know what that tells me? Alonso's on his way out. On his way out. Uno! What? Make Alonso be a gentleman and do a 1-2 finish. Let's see what Uno got to say. My brother said he want his F1 minute, and I'm about to give it to him. Let's make sure he's got his laptop, everything ready to go. What's going on, Uno, good sir? Oh, we don't have no audio. We got no audio, brother. Check your audio. Check your audio. Let me see. Uno, brethren. I see him right there. Check your audio. Make sure your audio is good. If so, I'll bring you back in. Get that worked out, and I'll bring you back in. I'll bring him back in. Uno definitely going to have some good things to say. I'll bring him back in. So, yeah. I mean, that was something different for Aston Martin. A 6-7 finish. Lance finishing 6, which is odd even because Lance has not been in normal capacity performing better than Alonso. Wildcat said as much as this on our last F1 minute last week, which was the preview and trailer that you saw. If you're not going to do nothing, you need to get aside and get out of the way. That's what you need to do. And while we are waiting for Uno to get together, let's go ahead and go into our next segment. I'm telling you, it is the time for you to call in the F1 minute, okay? This whole show is about bringing you to the forefront on the platform where other content creators don't allow you to have this moment and say your piece, contribute to the conversation more than just in the comment section or the live chat. This is for you. So you can click the link in the live chat or the description, brings you into the studio. Once you're into the studio, you got a laptop or a desktop, you can launch a question. You'll get your F1 minute just like Uno will shortly, and I'm telling you, will as well. He's just trying to give you all an opportunity to get in on some of this good fun, and that is what's going on. I'm telling you, Wildcat, I'm surprised he probably will be here soon. Don't count him out. But let's get into Ferrari. Ferrari, new things, but still the same. Ferrari are doing new things with this. Ferrari was the talk of the weekend. They were the talk of the weekend. You know, Mercedes bought their updates back in Monaco. It was kind of like, it was still a big thing. It was a big thing. But I think a lot of people were surprised in Ferrari because you all didn't listen. I told you all that Ferrari was struggling. I told you all that Ferrari were having a bunch of shenanigans going on. I told you all Ferrari had organizational problems. I told you all that Ferrari had driver problems. I told you all as much as this. And it seemed like some of you don't listen because you like to consistently come here and tell me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Even if you say that, I can see. And I can see problems from miles away in Ferrari. Ferrari, it was very different. It was very a big wow factor this weekend because Fred was already known to say that there was no reason why they were going to change their concept. There was no reason for them to go and have a totally different philosophy as the way they approached the aerodynamics of their car, that they were totally fine about where they were as far as the development of the car. It's just that, or the philosophy of the car, as far as developing, they will continue that. Well, that ain't what we saw in Spain. They changed the concept. They changed the philosophy. They got rid of those big, nice, curvaceous, sharp, great white louvers that I like. The car is more now coming toward conventional side of the grid, things that have seemed to be successful. Whereas I didn't think Ferrari were so unsuccessful with race pace, but maybe they felt like they had maximized that concept and that now it was time for a change. I'm not too solid on that. I think, honestly, Ferrari panicked. I think Ferrari's panicking. I think they're doing Ferrari-esque things, and I think they changed prematurely. A lot of other teams took bits and pieces from their car in order to improve themselves. Nobody was doing that with Mercedes' concept. Initially, Williams and McLaren, similar, and they abandoned it, and rightfully so, because Mercedes proved them rightfully so by also abandoning the 0-1 slim down side pod. So that proved them right. I'm not quite sold or sure that maybe Ferrari needed to do the same thing, but they did. And there was a shred of evidence in qualifying as two drivers were running two different variations of the car. Carlos, surprisingly, in the new variation, while Charles was in the older variation. And it was also seen that Carlos had more straight line speed in that car. So, and he ended up, second? He ended up second in qualifying. So that said something, right? It said something. Well, as much as that said then, it didn't say a lot in the race because Ferrari got into the race and Ferrari was Ferrari. And I think this has to be stressful. This has to be a stressful situation for Ferrari fans. And I'm not talking down on Ferrari or Ferrari fans. I'm legitimately concerned. I'm legitimately concerned about Ferrari fans. I know that this has to be stressful. This is not even a joke. This is not anything that's going to arrive as some quick poke or me making a joke on you all. That has to be stressful. One, to be the most iconic team in the sport. Two, to have the most glamorized success in drivers, and everybody wants to drive for the red team. Everybody wants to be a Ferrari. Everybody. And to be performing like they are performing right now, and it's not even a new thing. This is something that Ferrari has been known to do. I know that this has to be stressful for Ferrari fans. I mean, a lot of people, I told you that I wasn't all big and I wasn't giving Ferrari all these points about the fact that they did a live, shakedown at the livery. Okay, whoop de do, big, nice. It was nice. You screwed up 80% of the livery launch, and then you do that, and it's like, okay, that's nice. No other team did it, but the thing was, you didn't bring it in right. You had all the good dressings, and you put it in the oven, and you burnt it. And right now, Ferrari is burning their season. They're burning their season up. That's what they're doing. There are several reasons why Ferrari failures, FNF, and we ain't talking about FNFX. If you saw that crap movie, if you wouldn't have spent your movie to see Fast and the Furious 10, shame on you. Shame on you. That movie is garbage without me even seeing it. All right? It's garbage. It's not what it should be. It's not what it will be, and it's horrible. I'm bringing Will in. I'm bringing Will in right now. I ain't gonna get too deep on that. I'm personal with that. Will, go ahead, my brother. You got your F1 minute.
First of all, I lost count of the Fast and Furious movies back in, I think, like 4 or 5, something like that. I don't remember.
Last one I was in was 5.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I haven't watched a lot of them. It's just, I don't know. It's not about the cars anymore. So, Ferrari. That's been a problem with them now for about a decade. It's now coming up to about a decade. They've lost a lot of key people to a lot of teams. I know that kind of happens a lot. There's a lot of mixing up of the teams where people go to different teams because they get paid more, that type of thing. It's even happening now. Red Bull's getting people that are going to other teams for more money, sometimes double their salary, but they haven't been able to recover ever since they started losing people in like 2014, the new turbo hybrid era. They have the facilities in place and all that to put a team together that can definitely that can make results and have good performance out on the track. But right, they're just losing in every single little area. So when I say like Ferrari's failures, it's like Ferrari's foibles also. It's like these little things here and there that just keep on popping up, and they can't get everything put together. And a lot of teams are now, redeveloping their concept. They're one of them. They're doing the downwash versus inwash now. But then you bring a car to Catalonia for Charles, and they don't even know what's wrong with it from practice and qualifying. That car is broken. or
was
as Lennon
was
would
be
say, broken.
broken, broken, brother. You ain't lying about that. Big shout out, Will. Hey, let's hit on something real quick though. I'm gonna ask you a question before you go because I know you're coming back. Do you think that it was necessary or that it was a pressing issue for Ferrari to change the philosophy and the concept of their car?
I don't think so. I think that if they did, they definitely have to change a lot of other things. I know that everyone just kind of focused on the bathtubs going away and they had some floor edges that were a little changed up, but if the underfloor isn't changing with that, I don't think that it's really going to give them that much of a benefit. Kind of reminds me of Aston Martin when they were halfway through their changing concept last year, where they changed up and everyone was saying it was the green bull and all that. The performance just wasn't there, so I guess it can go one of two ways. Either A, they're changing that up and they're thinking they're going to find performance there. I don't think that's the case. I think it's going to be, they should have used Aston Martin as a case study and said they tried to change their concept midway through the season without changing other things. Mercedes did it the right way. A lot of things changed with the underfloor, a lot of things changed with the rear wing, the suspension. It was a package
Right.
that's also evolving throughout the season. I don't think that this thing with Ferrari, just because you change the inwash and the downwash, that's all of a sudden going to solve all your problems. And then again, they just have a lot of issues within the team itself that just keep
Right.
popping back up. So I don't think it was a good idea. I think that they could have put resources towards other things, like, I don't know, getting the team to run like a team rather than the way that it's running right now, which the clown meme is perfect, and it
Right.
didn't change from getting rid of Bonotto. We kind of see that, even though Fred
Nope.
is, I think Fred has the capability, but there's
Right.
just too many other things going on.
Right. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. And you make sure you come back. He got that money. That's what
It
I'm
came
talking
today.
about.
It came today. It's fair to say that. It came
Hey,
today.
hey, hey, I come through. I come through for my peeps. And who we got? Uno. We got Uno coming in. Before Uno comes in, I want to say this. Will brought up a good point, and we all know it. It happened to Mercedes. It's happening to Ferrari. It's going to happen to Red Bull. Red Bull employees, the same thing Red Bull did by poaching employees out of Mercedes, the same thing is going to happen to them. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. All right. It's not inedible. It's inevitable. All right. Uno's coming in right now, coming in hot. Hopefully he's got that sound right. We're going to give him his F1 minute.
Can you hear
Here
me
we
now?
go. Uno, I got you now. I got you now. We got a little static, but we're going to roll with it.
Respect.
Let's go. Let's go, bro. You got your F1 minute. Pop off.
Right. I'm just disappointed in seeing how Leclerc struggles with this race and that time. And also, man, Sainz should actually, stayed on the track even if he had a good tires. I didn't know why they were calling it in. And yet, the commentator from Martin and David, they both were going, why he should be called in. But the guy said, why are you bringing me in? The tires are good. Why he made a point, they were still trying to bring him in. But
Right.
Leclerc, man, Leclerc did his hardest, did his qualifying, did his damnedest, and look what happened. The poor guy didn't even get a recognition. The poor guy didn't even get his fame. And the poor guy feel like he's being used to be a broom. Swept, 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 clean the dirt. That's it. And more likely clean the damn track. Which right now, I feel the poor guy should just step in and, step away, find some other team that will definitely represent him, and he do well for them. Because at the end, he's not getting that. He's not getting what he wants, and I can't stand the way the guy's losing.
Good point, Uno. Yeah, he ain't lying. Listen, I told you all this. I told you all this. What you think's gonna happen? You think Charles just gonna stick around? You think he just want to stick? Listen, did you see that man's face? That man's face. We're gonna talk about Lando and McLaren a little bit, but they had similar faces. Coincidental. Lando nut checked Charles, and they both look like they got nut checked by the end of the Spanish GP. His face was completely disappointed. I'm not gonna say ultimate failure, but let's just backtrack a little bit. All right. Back in Monaco, you had Carlos and Charles fighting over each other like two spoiled brats in the living room over a toy trying to get to the pit. Potentially could have wrecked each other out. Carlos damn near did take himself out. More, not once, but twice. Then we come into Spain, two different variations. They already had gotten knocked on by the FIA, not having the concept out so people can view it. Then they go in. Charles, I think that was him, starting from pit lane behind the Williams. He worked. Listen, by lap 10, I don't quote me. I'll go back and watch, but I'm just saying he made a considerable amount of progress. I believe by lap 10, Carlos had made up like so many spots, like a decent amount of spots by lap 10 or lap 13. He did his thing. Similar to Russell. Now, I watched the whole thing, and we'll get into Russell off track and then back on track. But then you have the drivers not agreeing with what pit wall is telling them to do, or the engineers want them to do, or the box, and what setting to be on. And Carlos is like, the pace is fine, just be patient. They're like, really? No, your pace is not fine. Not to us anyway. I don't know what you're seeing, but what we're seeing here with all this data we got, we don't like it. Carlos is in the car, and he's like, I like it. And they pit him anyway and box him, and you're having a consistent display of inconsistent communication between team and driver. You're starting to have a rift between the drivers and the team. You're going to start to lose trust between your drivers, and then trust between the drivers and the team. And what that all ends up coming out to be is a very fractured unit, drivers wanting to be out of there, and then you finding yourself trying to find either other team principals and other drivers. And basically, you're in a rehaul. You're in a rebuild. You're in a rebuild, and you're already falling and you're tearing apart. So maybe that's what Ferrari needs to do. Because I already said that I thought it was a little bit of pressure on Fred coming into this organization due to everything that was already going on. It's almost similar to you getting an NFL coach, but your star quarterback is leaving. Your running back, he's on the fringes with his contract. Your receiver wants more money, but your salary cap's blown up. That's what it is. Fred got some ingredients that he didn't go to the store and buy. Ferrari went down to Circle K or your local Kangaroo or a Quick Trip, bought him some ingredients to make a filet mignon, and asked him to make something equivalent to Chef Ramsay. How you going to ask a man to make something equivalent to Chef Ramsay as well as a beef welly with Quick Trip gas station ingredients? You can't do it. It's not going to taste good. It's almost like getting wine from the gas station. You bring some Sutter Home to my home, and I'm going to tell you to get that gasoline up out of here. Don't bring Sutter Home wine to my house. Don't do it. Do not do it. Don't be so disrespectful. Mary Beanie says it's clear to see Ferrari are backing Sainz facts. And you want to know what's funny? Thank you, Mary Beanie. Thank you for making that statement over there in the YouTube super chat. Big shout out to you, Queen. You know what's really funny? When I said that about 2 seasons ago about Ferrari backing Carlos more than Charles, people say, oh, man, that's crazy, Wolfpack. That ain't happening. Why would they do something like that? You tell me. Why would Ferrari do any of the things that they've been doing like that? They fumbling it up. And what's disappointing to me is I'm really still rooting for Ferrari to get on their feet and get up and running. And that's not happening. And it's not going to happen as long as your driver is not confident in not only the car, because Charles said the car was one way in one session, same type of compound tire, and was totally different in another session. That's not going to build confidence in any driver. Not Max Verstappen. That's the only reason why Max is comfortable, because the car is great. The car is great. It's not an obstacle. It's not a bottleneck. If anything's going to bottle it up, it's going to have to be him making a mistake. It's all on him now. The car, the machinery is there. The pit stops are crisp. The team is doing whatever they need to do, whether it's launching appeals, launching protests, doing whatever they got to do to keep him up front. Everything else is on him. That's why he can be so comfortable. That's why Lewis Hamilton can be so comfortable when he was comfortable. Not as comfortable as Max, because Lewis Hamilton had a bunch of other attacks going on him aside from off the track. But still, you can be comfortable when you're confident in your team, when you're confident in the machinery you have, when you're confident that even if you run into a glitch, that you can rely on your team to make the changes and the corrections necessary. Charles and Carlos do not have that luxury. They do not have that luxury. And because that they don't, their confidence is dwindling. And so is the performance of Ferrari. Just keeping it real. All right. We're going to go into our next segment. I mean, we could sit here and talk eons about Ferrari and what they have going on. It's just, it's a shame. They really need to find out where their chips lie as far as which one of these drivers do you really want to continue on with your future. Because at this point in time, if things continue with Ferrari like they are, you're losing one, okay? And you're likely going to lose Charles. I believe Charles feels that in himself, aside from the boneheaded mistakes that we've seen Charles make. I know he's made some bonehead mistakes, but still, I think Charles in a good car will do good things. Allison, what's going on? Consistency is key. Thank you. Consistency is key. It is. If you're not consistent at some capacity in whatever you're trying to do, on some level, you're not going to get there. You're fragmented. You're broke. And you need to get fixed. And Ferrari, get fixed fast because things are not going to go any better. Here goes Will. Clock watch. Let's get it. Let's go. Hey, clock watch. That's right. That's right. Let's get it. What we got, man? What we got? What we got, brethren?
Well, a clock watch. What are we looking at here with the two Leclercs in Formula One and in Formula Two?
Right.
So we've got Arthur Leclerc at 36 points, ninth in the sprint and feature race, gained 2 points. He's still 13th in the standings. And Charles got 42 points, no points in Catalonia, 7th in the standings. They both still have a podium each. So it's not looking too good for either of the Leclerc brothers. I mean, that's just this isn't what we're looking forward to as far as Ferrari or I mean, even for I have to give Arthur a little bit more leeway.
Do you?
Charles has been in F1 now for quite some time, so that's it's not looking too good, especially if he's getting outscored by his brother now. Like I told you, it's close. This is a close battle right here between the two Leclerc brothers of who's gonna do worse in the year of 2023. This is getting crazy. So I don't know. There is one thing though. I wanted to also make a note of. We'll be starting up. We have the clock watch. We're also going to start up a rookie roundtable, so we're going to go over that on another call. And also, Blue Diva will be part of our kitty litter corner of all the cars that go off track during the weekend and race weekend as well.
Kitty litter corner. Oh my gosh, kitty litter corner. Who came up with this name?
I think it was a collaboration, but she always said that they're in the kitty litter, so I figured kitty litter corner is definitely a good name for that segment.
Yo, I love it, bro. Go ahead and flash that money one more time. Got the money. Got the bag. Got the bag. Yo, my crew is wild. Kitty litter corner. Like, first of all, listen, I just got to let you know. Like, my crew, like their crew, they run the thing, right? So, like, some of these things that you hear about, like you're here, sometimes it's the first time hearing about. Like, I am so, like, listen, like Lewis Hamilton with Mercedes, like Max Verstappen with Red Bull, I'm so confident in my crew that when things can go on over there and I can just concentrate, content, come in, do what I need to do, and know that they are still there, pillars, assisting and growing and grooming the community. But Kitty Little Corner in the Wolf's Den, that's very ferocious on cats. Very ferocious on cats. That is an awesome name. When you think about it, that is an awesome name. I can't wait to see who's going to be in Kitty Little Corner next week on F1 Minute. But that rookie roundtable, they come up with some of the best damn names, y'all. Y'all can't get this anywhere else but here. You can't get this type of shit anywhere else to here. So we're going to go into our next segment, and that's going to be talking about McLaren. Break the crown. Listen. Triple crown livery, very nice. Very nice. The triple, I wish they would just continue to run that livery throughout the season. That livery is dope to me. It really is. What wasn't dope was the way they finished Spain. I mean, listen, qualifying third had to be in. I mean, did you see Zach Brown in the garage? Yeah, baby. That's us. Third place. Crown me, LeBron, crown me. I mean, Zach was going in. I mean, he was high-fiving like nobody's business. You better have did some curls that morning to take that high five. Zach was zooted, all right? Lando, no, he was excited, but I'm going to give it to Lando. I think Lando still kept a bit of realism, although in a very exciting moment that I don't think he'll likely see. I don't think Lando will likely see that situation again this season. I hope that they do. I really hope they do, but I'm not too sure if they do. And I don't even think Lando is too sure if they do. And at this point in time, although things, I'm going to tell you this. I tell you one thing. I don't think Lando is outperforming or dogging Oscar Piastri the way he probably has other teammates. I think right now he has a very competitive teammate, and that's a good thing for the team and even himself. And I like the fact that Lando indeed gave Oscar his flowers by saying he did a good job. I think that's a very good display of camaraderie within the team. But McLaren, they got a that didn't look good. And really it was Lando's fault. Lando ruined his own race by running into Lewis. And he looked very emotional. Lando was in his feelings when he was asked about that post-race conference or post-race show. She asked him, like, about him sticking his nose in there, and he was like, What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I mean, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, it wasn't nothing. It was racing. That's what it was. It was just racing. I mean, it was nothing. Nothing. He was in his feelings. He was in his feelings because he made an error and it cost him big. He already wasn't confident that although starting in P3, that he was going to finish even in the top 10. So that in itself will tell you how confident he is in the machinery and maybe even how confident he is about his team's ability to develop throughout the course of this season. I don't think Lando is having any aspirations or dreams of sitting or standing on the podium at this point in time. And I honestly think that it will get to guys like Lando, like Carlos, like Carlos probably gonna be up there again. I ain't gonna say Carlos, but definitely like Lando and maybe even Gasly and who else could I say? Maybe Joe, maybe Bottas that see Esteban get a podium. I know they're gonna be like, damn man, how this dude got a podium? I can't even get one over here. What we doing? That was supposed to be the team that was best of the rest over there. Alpine, they ain't nobody. Ocon up there holding third place trophies, man. Where the hell is mine? What's going on? I know it's good to qualify third, but shit, can I finish third? Well, you could have maybe, but I doubt it. Not finished because let's just be for real. At some point in time, Russell was moving like a mad machine, and we're going to get into that. Russell was moving like a mad machine. Lando at no point in time was probably going to hold that third place, but he could have probably held it a bit longer than he did right then and there. So the carriage indeed has reverted back into a pumpkin. It has. It was short-lived. Lando Will, let's go. See what he got. All right, man, let's go.
Lando. I do think that the carriage is back into a pumpkin, and it's not him. I just think that he came in hot. I think back to Austria during the whole COVID period when he had to chase down that penalty gap between him and Lewis, and he was able to close that gap. And on the very last lap, he was able to close that 5 second gap down to, I believe it was 4.8 seconds. He just made it in on the final lap to claim it was his first podium. That type of performance that Lando does, I think that it's diminishing, not because he's losing any type of talent or anything, to quote his own words. He's not losing any talent. I just think that the team is now at that point letting him down. Some of the things that we see with Charles and Ferrari, I think now that's becoming a recurring thing. I think that the to see him and Piastri being a little bit closer as far as the performance and all that is just because the car still isn't that great. We know Ricardo couldn't drive that same car, so that was one of the issues. But I do think that it's now the team letting him down. You got to remember that in 2021, Lewis said over the radio, watching Lando drive, saying that guy's great. Like that, he's really good. He knows that that's somebody that can actually get to that level and become a champion in 1 year. They hang out all the time. They play golf and all types of stuff.
Yeah, he did. He did get that compliment. He did get that compliment. We'll be coming with it. Like he did get that. Now I will say this. I think, and I know, Lewis Hamilton can be very complimentary, right? But I do think Lando is a good driver. How great he will be one day is really going to depend on where he is and who he's with, and if McLaren can do what they need to do with him there. Now, somebody brought up a very interesting perspective in one F1 minute. I can't recall which one it was. I can't even recall who it was. But somebody was saying that what about Lando and Lewis Hamilton? And I just don't know how that'll work. But they said Lando and somebody else, and I'm thinking like, well, that was a good one. Like it was a good suggestion. Like I don't know where Land. Like I know people don't like Russell. And Russell's making his own bed, and he's gonna have to lie in it. I'm just not sure about I'm not sure if Lando at Mercedes right now would be a good thing, but on the exit of Lewis Hamilton, could you all see Lando and Russell driving for Mercedes and that being a productive thing? Because it's one thing to have two talents that you think are outstanding, but can these two talents exist in the same environment and be productive for the team? I think that's another thing. And it doesn't necessarily mean because they're both great in their own right that together in a team they're going to do great things together. We saw that, right? A lot of people think Alonso's great. Lewis Hamilton is great. What happened in McLaren? Alonso definitely wasn't showing this brotherly love like he's showing to Lance. Alonso definitely wasn't trying to say, hey, tell Hamilton, don't worry, we're going to get this. We got it. Hamilton, he wasn't doing none of that. None of that. So you need some level of harmony between the drivers, and you need the drivers to be very good and talented. You need the team to be together. You need the machinery to be there for the drivers. It is an entire ecosystem. Now, regardless of what you think about Red Bull and their character, because birds of a feather flock together, so they are very similar in their ways, so it works for them. But everything is there, okay? Everything is there, and that's why they're running like a sewing machine. Not to mention, we're not gonna excuse the fact that there's some cheating element in there. That's just a fact. It's just true. You breached the cost cap. 2021 was a scandal. Now we're waiting to see what happens this year. And a lot of people are even waiting to see what's going to happen next season in regards to this supposed heavy, stiff penalty for breaching the cost cap. It's going to affect them. Yeah, I doubt it. I don't think it's going to affect them much. And if it does, so be it. So be it. And here we go. Uno, why has Lando, big shout out to Nah Automane Teddy. Lando's driving skills are way up there. The Achilles heel is the mental strength. Very good point, Nah. When you show up there, you come with some very good points. But supremely talented in terms of driving skills, but not enough to be a world driving champion. No, I got to give you the damn boom. And came in dropping some bars. All right, Uno, here you go, brother. You got your F1 minute. Let's crank it up, bro. Drop those bars. I can hear you. Drop them, bro.
Good. Because I'm disappointed in seeing exactly how well Lando did get up to P3 in the qualification. Did a good start. Suddenly whacked into Hamilton, which Hamilton was trying to avoid a Ferrari of science. And then all of a sudden, what happened? Dropped all the way back and struggled. Just like how he coming like he's Daniel Ricciardo all over again. And then having Piastri coming like he's Lando. And then the praises that they were giving to Lando, come on, man. Stop boosting up the guy, because the guy can actually do the qualification if you give him the good car. But don't let him get too cocky, because that's what happened to him just now. And once that did happen, boy, that's when he go way back like snakes and ladders. You get him to try and get the win, and then what happens? Roll the dice. Oh, there, you got bitten by a snake. Get your ass down the tail, buddy. Get your ass down the tail. And when you get your ass down there, what you got to do? Roll the dice again. And that's what Lando had to do all over. That's why when he had the interview, he looks like a sad-ass puppy that just lost his master.
He did. Yo. Did my man just bring up chutes and ladders? Yo. Bruno is classic for that, bro. Chutes and ladders, yo. That was a bar. Nall came in dropping bars. Uno comes in dropping bars. Oh, my gosh. Here's a little fun fact I'm going to give y'all, though. Just a little fun fact just to pay attention to if you want to attribute it to the team or the drivers. But as far as World Constructor Championship standings, 2020, they were third. 2021, they were fourth. 2022, fifth. And currently right now running sixth. Chutes and ladders. Just to add to Uno's metaphor. There's chutes and ladders. Slowly ticking down every season from third to sixth over the course of 4 seasons. So we're going to see where they end up this season? Are they going to end up 6th? They going to end up lower? Let's shake it up. Wildcat coming to the stage for his F1 minute. Let's go, brother, man. You got your F1 minute. Take off, bro.
All right, so this what you were saying about switching up the drivers. I actually brought that up about 2 or 3 weeks ago in an F1 minute.
That's what it
But
was.
the way I kind of see it, put Lando and Max together at Red Bull. Why? Because Lando's gonna run Max down. He is not gonna care. You put Charles and Lewis together at Mercedes. Why? Because Charles is gonna learn from Lewis and he's gonna simmer down and actually be able to get his head on straight, learning from Lewis.
Okay.
Put Russell and Sainz together at Ferrari. Why? Because Russell does better in a bad car. So shit, why not put him with Ferrari? Um, who else? Put Checo with Oscar. Why? Because Checo has been proven to do better with shitty machinery. But
Okay.
Oscar can actually learn a lot from Checo defensively on how not to lose them positions. Let's
Nice one.
put who did I have Logan with? Put Logan at Aston Martin with Stroll. Why?
Ooh.
Because that's two young guns. But at the same point, if Logan turns that starts turning heads in AMR 23 over Stroll, Papa Stroll, time for you to put on the bench and time for Felipe to get that seat.
Felipe Drugovich. I'm with that. No, Automantani in the super chat over to YouTube says Piastri going to crowd Lando. Again, not the best pairing. He will destabilize Lando mentally. Yeah, hey, and no, dropping more bars. I told y'all what's going to happen if Oscar comes into McLaren and starts disturbing things. I did say something about this. I'm not saying that I'm exactly right. There's still some time. We're going to see what happens. I'm just saying that there's some truth to it. So just see what happens. But I do like I do like those driver pairings that Wildcat just mentioned. That was very solid. I do like that. Matter of fact, we need to write that down and then poll it. We're going to poll that one weekend. So Wildcat, hit me up in the Discord, DM me those driver pairings and remind me on a race weekend, and I will poll them during finale lap so we can get other people's take on that. I think that was very interesting. I do. So yes, Lando looking sad in his feelings, dropping down, and that is what it is. Now, it's time to get excited. Time to get excited because I know a lot of people want to get excited about this. I know they want to talk about this. We getting into this next segment. We talk about Mercedes, baby. We talk about Mercedes. Mercedes showing people that, hey, y'all didn't forget about us, did you? Y'all didn't think that we was gone forever. Y'all didn't forget about us, right? No, I hope not. W14B, double podiums for both Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, and Mercedes. How y'all feeling about that? What do y'all think about that? What does the world think about? What does the Formula One ecosystem think about that? But first, before we go into what you think about that, Russell, you out here tripping, bro.
It's like that.
I don't know what you might be doing before the race, bro. But listen, I'm about to tell y'all something. Next time Russell campaigns that it's raining, like it's monsooming, it's a tsunami out there, just box him and put him on inner tires and just let him go out there and see how the inners feel on straight, dry track. If he feels like it's raining in his mind, Russell thinks it's raining in his mind, and that's all that matters. Put him on inners and let him run it up. That's what I got to say. Okay, Russell, box. Go ahead, put him on. Put the tires on. Let him go out there. It's raining. It's raining out here, right? It's raining. Man, Russell was tripping, and I understand at the end he said a piece of his hair was hanging on his baklava, and it was sweat on the visor, and he just thought it was raining. So I was like, bro, it was that much sweat. It was that much sweat in your visor. Like, golly, I ain't doubting it, but damn, I'm just saying. Wildcat Russell can learn from Nico. This is gonna be a good one. Here you go. I got to hear this shit.
All right, so when I say Russell can learn from Nico, Will Buxton said it on. He actually put out a fun fact that a lot of people didn't know about Nico.
Oh, the white.
That he put that under his mask, not
Right.
under just the helmet, under his mask. Nico had a cloth that was actually on his forehead. Why?
Right.
Because it absorbed the sweat, so that way Nico never had that sweat in his face. This is something that any driver, anybody that wears a helmet of any kind is gonna experience because just like in football, when you see a football player steaming on the side of the field, it's because
Mm-hmm.
their body temp has now reached a very high point and they now look like they steaming and boiling, but they're also just sweating. So
Right.
that Will Buxton made a point. Why don't Russell maybe try that? Take that cloth,
Right.
put it under your mask, bro. Might help with just with that. Because when Russell started saying, "Oh, there's rain turn 5," I'm like, what? And I'm over
What?
here. Thanks to my brother Will for hooking up that getting getting that multi viewer tip. Thank you for that, Will. Watching them driver cams on Lewis, Max, Checo, and all these other drivers. Nobody else said anything about rain at turn 5 or rain anywhere, not even a drop. So I'm looking, where is Russell going at? Buddy was bugging.
Buddy was bugging. Hey, that's why it was like nobody's campaigning for this but you. Nobody's supporting this claim but you, Russell. No, Automane Tene says George needs to be careful not to antagonize Lewis. Oof. Otherwise, yes, Willie is going to be a Nico all over again. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, like, Russell is not really ready for that. He if he keeps doing that, he's gonna get what he asked for, but what he gets, he's not gonna like. He ain't gonna like it, and he ain't gonna want it. And that's just real talk. He really needs to pipe down for real. He really does. But I will say this: Lewis seems comfortable or getting more comfortable. I am still waiting until Canada and Austria before I say it's like that. They actually are making a turnaround. Before I go ahead and start setting it off, I'm gonna wait. Because then if we get Canada and we get to Austria and we see that Mercedes is again on podium, that's the time to go ahead and set them off. Set them off because that I'm not saying that they're going to be rivaling Red Bull this season. But what I am saying is for drivers to make the podium more often than not is a confidence builder. It also says that you have made listen and people stop the bull crap. People stop the bull crap. There is more than one thing that had to change with the W Series Mercedes in the 13 to the 14 to the 14B in order for that car to be successful. It is not solely and alone the damn side pods. You saw as much with Ferrari. That's what they really changed and what really happened. You have to, it's other component. It's, you know what? I tell you what, go make beef stew without beef and potatoes and carrots and the celery and the gravy. Go make it without that. That ain't beef stew. Go make a pepperoni pizza. Go make a Hawaiian pizza without pineapples. It ain't that. Side pods, suspension, floor, also the additions they made to the rear diffuser. It was a combination of ingredients and things that had to change in order for the car overall to be successful. Mercedes could have changed those side pods and nothing else, and I bet you wouldn't have saw what you saw in Spain. It doesn't work that way. All right, it does not work that way. So Mercedes, their package, good. Looking solid. Now, the thing is, can they develop on top of that and continue to build that? No, Automane Tene says Lewis is all about loyalty and team at the stage of his career. George's future is in his own hands. Hope George learn. Yeah, no, I hope he does learn. Wish Nikki was there because George would know what team means. Rest in peace, Nikki Lauda, for real. Man, what is Nall doing? Woman, you in there dropping bars all in the chat. Nobody got nothing to say. Like, I want to see anybody say something against what Nall got to say, because right now, she dropping straight, legit knowledge and bars on y'all in that chat. Will coming in with the Merc. Let's go.
All
Merc,
right.
let's go, bro.
Let's start this off with I gotta shout out Payne in the chat over there on the side, coming up with the
Yeah.
name, the Gico Russell Stappen,
Chico Russell
which is
Stappen.
hilarious. And I said I think that sounds like an Italian guy that spins straw into gold. Little
Oh, that's good.
yeah, little
Chico
Rumpelstiltskin,
Russell
little joke there.
Stappen.
I know. Yeah, I try. But Lewis, 193rd podium. That's a record.
Why they ain't talking about it?
4,492 and a half points. That's a record.
Why
Keeps
they
on
ain't talking about
increasing.
it?
And the team in general, P2 in the constructors. So we move ahead to Aston Martin, right? So that's also good. We're, 18 points in the clear of them. And Lewis is hot on Fernando's heels to get into P3, 12 points behind. I forget how many points. I think Fernando has 99 and he has 87, so he's 12 points
Yeah,
behind.
yeah.
And the way that they're looking right now, it's looking like we're on an upwards trajectory. I think that all the upgrades that are on the car now, and then adding the ones that are coming in the next and up and coming races, which they say there's a lot of stuff coming. So again, it goes back to the team understanding what works as a whole entire package, and I do think
Right.
that they realize now that they had a bunch of upgrades that are now coming together to work as an entire package, and we're starting to see the benefits of that.
For real, facts. Not even only that, but also personnel in the right positions. Allison, Elliott in the right position. Uno, Russell got schooled about him being the only one feeling rain and felt shamed. Man, my brother Uno Ryman, the only one feeling about. Hey, let's bring Uno in to spit those bars himself. All right, Uno, you about to get your F1 minute, bro. As soon as you get loaded up, is it coming? Is it in? All right, so Hillian, what's going on? I see Hillian over there. Yes, Google Chrome or Edge in order to do the live chat. All right, Uno, go ahead and get right, bro. Something's going wrong with your connection. We'll bring you in as soon as you're ready. But yeah, Hillian, if you also Hillian is our latest VIP member. Big shout out to him. OG Zilla, your box tracking number sent out to you. Hope you enjoy that. Shirts also got sent out today for international shipment, so be on the lookout for that as well. But yeah, I also want to say that if Mercedes comes back on top of this season next season and then the off season and they just keep building, I'm telling you, I think 2024 is where you're going to start seeing that real shift. 2025 is where you're going to see things really, it's going to change. It's going to change. It's all the things that up until this point in time, Red Bull have only put what 4-time consecutive back together with Seb. We're going to see if they can break that ceiling, their own ceiling. Does Max stall out at 4? Is that going to be the typical Red Bull way? We're going to see. It takes a lot for a team to maintain dominance through that 7 to 8 seasons. It takes a lot. People listen, and I thought it was quite disrespectful that the commentators doing the qualifying round, Q3, I believe it was, or was it Q2? It might have been Q2. They're talking about Russell coming across the finish line. They're talking about Lando coming across the finish line. They're talking about Carlos. Here comes Lewis getting P1, and ain't not a word said about nothing. Then they talk about the driver after him. For real? That really what we doing? Mary Beanie says, I don't need to wait. I know what's coming from it. Hey, Mary Beanie does know what's coming. She's our crystal ball when it comes to Mercedes. She brings us, and tells us what she feels and based off the past, what she thinks is going to be. And all the time right now, really, she's been right. Ain't no lot of, she's been right. Mary Beanie, salute to you. Salute to you. So listen, I am looking forward to seeing Blue Diva says official Lauren Brown coming up. Rookie behavior versus veteran drivers and haters. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got. You got your F1 minute. Let's get it. Let's see. You should be. Oh, here we go.
Can you
What's
hear me?
going on, my queen? Yeah, I can, queen.
All
Go
right,
ahead.
cool.
What you doing?
All right. Well, again, long-time listener and really happy to be subscribed to the pack. What's up? So I think that a lot of great points have been raised as far as what Russell's bringing to the table and what Lewis is bringing to the table. And what I haven't seen is Mercedes crew really fighting for Lewis in a manner that shows Russell where exactly he's falling in this kind of hierarchy just from merit. And I think in these moments when you have like somebody bump somebody or, it reminds me back when you still had Vettel. Was it Vettel? No, V Mercedes, I can't remember his name. We saw his butt, but that guy,
Valtteri.
Valtteri, thank you. The motorcycle. Sorry, people are having a good time. But it reminds me of the way that there was such a calm between the two of them, and they both worked really well. But then when you saw George basically crash into person where I can only remember one
Valtteri.
thing because
I
thank
got
you,
you.
Valtteri. I actually have been following this sport for a long time.
Butt
It's
cheeks.
just, that was a very
Yeah, when you put your cheeks
surprising
in the
moment.
river, I mean, yeah, that's a surprising moment. You put your butt cheeks out there for everybody to
Yeah.
see, right?
Yeah. But, I think that when we saw him Russell walk up and kind of slam the car, and people had given him the benefit of the doubt and said, oh, he was just trying to, help and see, only to find out he was just raging.
Right.
That's still happening. I think there's not been enough to properly quell that energy and direct it. And I wonder if that's because there's so much, change and volatility happening behind the scenes. So instead of, getting a calm, because the truth is, no matter how panicked you get, you do your best thinking when you're calm. No matter how, complex your situation is, you break it down into small parts and you work on it bit by bit, and you do everything with excellence, and that's how you win. And I'm not really seeing that same grasp. And so I also miss Nikki. I also miss when they would do the driver briefings, and the guy Charlie. I miss Charlie. I think he also helped keep everybody calm, and I think that we're missing those kinds of apolitical, about the sport kind of people who really bring the passion in, and also remind people, like, this is racing. This is not something where
Right.
you need to be like, fuck your ego, excuse me. But screw the
You're good.
ego, put it aside, get the job done, and respect the people who have done it. Like, 7 is not a joke.
Facts. Yo, Lord, coming in, dropping some bars. Welcome, and appreciate you much. Doing our
Thank you
thing.
for having me.
Yo, hey, I had to. Hey, listen, it's not often that in here, like in the super chat, it's not often. I think Lauren may make our second woman who has come to the channel and drop some major bars. She would drop some major points to the point I had to give her some extra time, because those were very good points, like very legitimate points, even psychologically, the things that she was breaking down as far as the team and Russell's actions, and maybe the fact that some of those actions are being pampered more than they should be, being penalized, so he can get it. Those were very good points. Like, that was solid. Those were some solid bars. Like, y'all got to appreciate. Uno saying, let's say how Russell needs to know his place in the team, and he said Nikki be kicking his coffin. Oh, damn. Okay, Uno, let's go, bro. I'm gonna give you that F1 minute. Go ahead, bro. Kick it in, bro. Kick it in.
You like it like Flavor
Kick it in.
Flav. All right.
Matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna pause your time.
Yeah.
Pause your time. Hold on. We
Yeah.
got Blue Diva 2024 44 plus 4 B. Go ahead. You got it.
Right.
Go ahead, Uno.
As you've been said about Russell behaving like a little kid, going on like he's smart, going on like he's the guy, going like he's the man, but he ain't. What he needs to actually know is that there is teams, and he's got recruited, and he's supposed to gain his skills. But please stop trying to be like a guy that inside out of the car, inside out of the tactics, inside out of every strategy, right? Which you didn't get it right. He got it wrong until he almost messed up. But I like how his engineer tell him, you're the only one that actually got rain in your freaking helmet, dude. So shut up. And what did he do? He cracked a joke at the end of it when he was going for his trophy. I felt like the rain was the man. It sounded like a guy eating a sugar cane. Rush that damn thing. But listen, Russell, shut the fuck up and learn your position, because you ain't number one.
Facts, bro. Hey, y'all kicking in. Y'all coming around third pace and getting crazy up here. Uno, big shout out to you. But OG Zilla just dropped 10 Wolfpack memberships in the live chat. 10 people will be lucky to randomly be selected to be given Wolfpack memberships. Those 10 people are already up right now. It is Band of Harmonos. It is T. Osborne, King Tone, which I seen you around here a lot. You've been here for a long time, fam. Jamie Molin, Guns Man Senior, Brandon, Sean, Prince, Alwyn Harvey, and Golden Brave. You just got blessed a Wolfpack membership courtesy of OG Zilla, our most newest, recent, fresh VIP member. Big shout out OG Zilla dropping that in there, man. That is much love, fam. Much love. So, hey, listen, Nall has been in the super chat, in the live chat, dropping bars. Will, Uno, and Lauren comes in dropping some heavy breakdown. Heavy breakdown. I can't blame her for not knowing Valtteri's. Like, it's not that she doesn't know. It's just that it's hard for Valtteri's name to get past the V image of his butt cheeks in the stream. When you think about it, it's like a mental block. You think that, and it's just butt. That's what all you think. Like, he did that to himself. I'm not blaming Lauren or nobody else for Valtteri Bottas putting his ass out there, cheeks, rosy cheeks in the stream. Come on. Giving and the painting souls. I ain't mad at his hustle. But goodness gracious, man, did you have to do that to everybody? Did you? There's a bad, it's just singed in my brain. Singed in there. So listen, I really do appreciate it. No, Automane saying, Jay, you don't need to wait for Canada or Austria. The car is performing, although Canada is kind of a hybrid. See, no, dropping knowledge, because it is a hybrid. It's like street circuit, but not. We need to see a real street circuit. Singapore! I do think the timer to go after Red Bull has just started with the devil emojis. Nall is not playing with y'all. She is not playing with y'all. I don't know if Nall, Uno, Lauren, Will all had some type of conference and was like, you know what? We just going to go on F1 Minute and raid it with bars and dare all the haters to try to come and offer up these lame excuses and debates and watch how I just fall flat. Because they've been on a tear. They have been on a tear, like for real, dropping this knowledge. I can't wait to see what some of these comments are going to say about the legitimate things that these people have come on this show. These family members have come on this show. These women, these men have come on this show and said, you know what? Oh, Baraka PR63 talk. Let's see what he got. All right, Baraka, man, I'm about to give you your F1 minute. Here we go. Let's go.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you good, bro. Loud and clear.
All right, so I just wanted to talk about George and in terms of like his time at Mercedes.
Okay.
I feel like, and I'm not trying to say I'm not coming on to like defend George or anything, but I'm coming off as like understanding in terms of he's looking at drivers around his age range, like Charles, Lando, and Matt, who in their respective teams are like the number one driver. And he's sitting here and is like, hey, you guys hyped me up so much when I left Williams to join you guys. You hyped me up to be the future. But then he's making some decisions, like, again, requesting team orders when he's behind Lewis. But then when he's ahead, he's like, hey, don't let Lewis pass me. I'm on top. So I'm just guessing my guess is like he's seeing other drivers around him being helped out or catered to by their respective teams. And he doesn't feel like if he doesn't put his foot in the door that quick, he'll be left behind in the dust with everyone else on the grid. That's all I have to say.
Bro, that's a solid analytical, psychological point, though. That's a solid point, bro. 7 seconds. I got to give you your flowers for that. That's not about defending. That's just observation. And you know what? To make that comparison and that was very good, man. Bro, you make sure you come back, man. You can't come one time, drop shit like that, and never come back again. All right, you got to come back and drop more bars like that.
Hey, when I'm available, I'll be here.
That's a bet, bro. Appreciate you, fam.
Nope.
Yo, he got a good listen. Like he said, not making any excuses for Russell, not excusing any of his actions, not even excusing any of his characteristic traits that we have already deemed him Max 2.0, maxi pad, none of that. But Baraka makes a very good point. Like, he felt like he was going to be, he probably did feel like he was the chosen one coming. Even though Lewis Hamilton's there, we already can see that Russell exists in a mind of his own where like reality is skewed when it comes to like rain on the track, when it comes to he's under attack, when it comes to, listen, we notice about Russell. So if we notice about a person, I think then to take analyzation and observation of why they may do the things they do is not saying or excusing them, but that's a very good point. Like him looking at other drivers within his era or his genre, like Charles, like Lando, he's feeling like, yo, I should be having this number one status without it. And you know what? It probably didn't help too much with the T-Cam color when he first came in. Like Lewis kind of assumed people like, how's he got the number 2 driver T-Cam? And like Russell might be on still like some plight, like, yeah, I'm that guy. And I can ask for what I want to ask for. And it's not true. It's really not true. But he's in his own mind. He's a pimp in his own mind. He's a pimp in his own mind. 8 ball and MJG hard. pimping his own mind. No, Automain Tanny says, God bless everyone. So happy to have joined you for a bit. Wishing all the best for the Wolfpack fam. Wishing all the best to you, fam. Big shout out to you, Queen. Big shout out to your family. Wishing y'all the best in everything y'all doing. I love when you come around. Maria came around. Like anytime y'all come around, it puts a smile on my face. I really do appreciate it. Galacticus, Merc needs to be better pit. Oh my gosh. PU need more power, baby. Listen, Mercedes, I really do need y'all to get on the ball with the pit stops because y'all really have been subpar with that. Like, pit stops are not a consistent thing in Mercedes. They haven't done the best with the pit stops, and they need to do something about it, all right? But we're going to save a little bit of this for our next episode of F1 Minute. Plus, do not forget, we are going to be back here this weekend with Wolfpack Effort Grudge Racing. Formula One's not racing, but we are. We're going to be live 11 a.m. Sunday with the race. Our drivers are going to load up into the queue. You're going to be able to come watch. We're going to see who wins. Don't forget, we also have a big giveaway package coming at the end of the season where we're going to have a racing series here. Somebody's going to win nearly $1,500 worth of gaming gear, a Fanatec steering wheel, Fanatec base, Fanatec pedals, all that good stuff. And we're going to have a good time. Austin says, I like Lewis. I like Max. Nothing wrong with that at all. I like greatness. Thank you very much. That is a very good point. Knocking Max for having the best car is nuts. Knocking Max for having the best car is nuts, just like knocking Lewis and all his accomplishments when he had the best car is nuts. He won 10 races in 5 years with third best car. You got to acknowledge his success before they finally gave him the car. That's true, but that is very true. And people should likewise say the same thing about Lewis Hamilton. All right. Likewise, Max didn't start winning like this until he got the best car. You have to have the best car. You have to have the best driver. You have to have the best team. But honestly, you can have the best car and a good driver and a good team and still win. The point is you need all three. So, Austin, that is a very good point. Thank you very much for dropping that in there. 083, what's up? Sorry I'm late for the show. Better late than never, brother. Galacticus says, Sir Lewis Hamilton wanted yellow T-cam so it will record. I know. But in Russell's mind, he probably said, man, Hamilton letting everybody know I'm the number one stunner. Not. It was just a coordinate. You got a coordinate. You got the mushroom inside lining of the suit. Got the mushroom belt. Pow! I got the mushroom pockets. If you don't know where that comes from, you better do your movie research. All right. Official Lauren Brown. Big shout out to you, Queen. There's a difference between being in a well-oiled team versus a struggling one. True. When things are generally successful, don't be a bull in a China shop. Oh my gosh. Lauren is official. I know it say official Lauren, but Lauren is official with these bars they dropping. Y'all dropping like y'all need to make a song because the way y'all dropping these bars, I swear they both hot 16s. No doubt. Uno coming in, Will coming in, and we're gonna go ahead and get our closing words. Matter of fact, we got somebody. We got Wildcat, and then I need my closing words from WPPN and Will. Here we go. Some Grudge Racing news incoming from WPPN, followed by Will. Here we go. What we got, Wildcat?
All right, so with this Grudge Racing, we got 3 tracks drivers. Will it be Monaco? Will it be Spain? Will it be Canada? Jay has set the bar pretty high, and he expects great things with these entertainments. Now, we all know F123 is right around the corner.
True.
Last time we Grudge race on F122, so I do expect the most exciting and eventful race, regardless of where we go. Most overtakes, I want to see them all. We have several race winners will be present on the grid. Myself, Broken Hypocrite, probably Stop Pausing, more or less. We'll also have Hillian, who we know always brings the consistent smoke as much as possible. Let's throw that honorable mention out there. Will I Am also finished 5th in Miami and has been stepping up the bar quite high. So let's see what you got, drivers. Remember, we got that competition at the end of the year. I want to see who's ready to win it all.
Big
Over to you, Will.
facts. Over to Will for the closing remarks as we're getting ready to exit out of F1 Minute. Will, what do we got, my brother? Let these good people know what we got coming up, man. Where is he? Will I Am? If not, I'm going to close it out. This has been another successful moment of F1 Minute. You all have been so damn awesome. You have been great. Will is coming in right now on the outro. Let's go, Will. What you got, buddy? Go ahead and let them know what we got going on.
All right, thanks, Jay. A Florida man barges into a stranger's home and claims he's a ghost and that you couldn't see him. But before we get to that, it's time for our latest segment, Gravel Trap Gossip. Our sources, Wildcat, who you just saw before, speaking about the grudge races, and the mechanic, tells us that Sir Lewis Hamilton was spotted with Shakira, yes, that Shakira, in Monaco and most recently in Catalonia. I would say those hips don't lie, but everyone else did for 2 decades, so that's kind of played out. We're not going to do that. Hamilton has become somewhat of a Derek Jeter in Formula One, oh my captain, having been linked with many celebrity personalities. The list includes, but is not limited to,
Okay.
Nicole Scherzinger, Vivian Burkhardt, Rita Ora, Danielle Lloyd, Barbara Palvin, Winnie Harlow, and the Barbados bombshell Rihanna. Fun fact, Lotta Hintze, former Miss Finland and also linked with Sir Lewis Hamilton in the past, is the daughter of former McLaren F1 team doctor and Hintze Performance founder, Dr. Aki Hintze. She says they're just good friends. Now, Jay, do you know who works for Hintze Performance?
Tell me.
Angela Cullen.
Mm.
I don't know what that means, but it's messy enough for the gravel trap
It's
gossip.
messy enough for everybody. The kitty litter.
Messy.
Gravel trap
Back
gossip.
to you, Jay.
Gravel trap gossip. Oh my gosh. Gravel gossip. Oh my gosh. Gravel trap gossip. Kitty litter corner. Oh, rookie round table. They make the best names ever. Listen, if you want to hear more of this, you want to contribute in this, you want to come on and have a voice on a platform that will offer their platform to you like we do here with the Wolfpack fam. Come on over Mondays, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Join us. Don't be scared. If you got something to say, why not say it where it counts? Why not say it where people can go ahead and immediately react to it? You get an immediate reaction here at F1 Minute. You're not getting that anywhere else. I want to send a big shout out to everybody that came through, everybody that participated, and this has been another successful episode of F1 Minute. I wish you all the best. Stay healthy, stay safe. Come back. Wolfpack F Grudge Racing this Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, everybody, we're out of here. Peace.